council on those. So with that, Tom Elam, longtime member, Bonnie Elam's husband passed away this past week. And so, we wanted to remember Lonnie and, join her in the loss, in acknowledgement of the loss of her husband. Let's take that moment for silence to, remember Tom. Thank you very much. So introduction of guests, our new president, Harrison Turner.
Hello, everyone. Beautiful day outside. It's not torrential down, so it's great. We're going to go around and introduce our guests. So guests, I'm going to come and pass you the mic. We just ask that you stand up, introduce yourself by your name and what you do and what brings you to Rotary. We will start over here. Paula.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paula Zimble. I am with the Alzheimer's Association, and I'm a guest of Randy, so I thank her for having me here today. My work with the Alzheimer's Association helps me to work with those who are caregiving or living with the disease, and so it's an important cause, and just thankful to be with you all today. So though I am new to Rotary, I'm not new to service or to networking, so I'm glad to be here.
Thanks so much for being here, Paula. All right.
Hey, I'm currently going to do the this 11 years. I have a football from Apex. I was doing this advisors. And I don't know what to say about services.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Yeah. And yes, sir.
I'm Tim Young. I am Secretary Roberts, and I work for the Shelton Leadership Center. There's different organizations and it's a move for the shaker and work up there. Well, on that,
Hold on a second, get
Say that again, Steering.
Oh, yeah, okay. He works closely with the development and his state was supposed to make certain all speakers today. And these people
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. And the Shelton Center is amazing organization, and General Shelton, of course, is an amazing human being himself. So with that, we're going to have some district updates. We're going to pass that till next week. Is that correct? Eric? Okay, so Eric and Harrison were at the PETS conference training this last week, and so they'll give us a full report on that coming up for next week. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go to our membership. And so, Imanto.
All right.
As we cycle through some of things. Okay, Imanto.
This thing is.
All right, good to see y'all, fellow Rotarians. Good to see y'all smiling faces today. Happy Monday, in another day. Well, as you see, I keep coming in the suit, but today I feel kind of good because my team is in the tournament, so we're gonna have a great time. My team is in the tournament. I want to say for all you state fans, I am so sorry you guys are not in this year. Maybe next year. Probably you need to look at Carolina on how to get a better coach. Let's do that. But all that being said, all jokes aside, I'm glad to see you guys again. We are having our 5th service social on March 26th at Stir in North Hills at 4:30 to 6 p.m. Looking forward to seeing your smiling faces. Bring a guest, bring a family friend. Come on now, have some fun, all right? You guys have a good one.
Thank you, Anthony. I want to make sure you say hello to Deontay before you leave today. Like, sure we got information and encouragement about love. But Deontay, I called out state, so I got to say what we always used to say is yes, UNC graduates all these journalism people. They go to sports journalism. South Carolina always gets the love and kisses from the sports even if it's through the side doors. All right, we'll trash topic. All right, fundraising update. We had our gala a couple weeks ago, and to give us not the final update, but a mid to close end of the updates, here's John.
Thank you, President.
First of all, I would like to begin by thanking everybody that supported the gala. From the gala committee to also the people that were on the planning committee. It was truly a community effort, Rotarians coming together to make and celebrate, recognize, and inspire for the purposes of doing things in the community. In particular, I want to thank Michelle Stewart and Mike Brennan. They were the gala co-chairs. Michelle's not here, but Michelle and Randy worked together on a decorating plan for the gala that I think was second to none. So Randy, thank you for your participation and your assistance with the gala. Grace Massarelli was also on the committee with Chase, Peter Dory, and Leslie did a fantastic job with social media. But also, I would like to offer a big thanks to the person that keeps us in the Rotary, and that would be Linda. Linda, thank you so much. Linda's support was, she was always there, she was always calm, she always had good ideas, and so thankful that worked along with me on that. Just big numbers, we've raised over $53,000. We're very excited about that. We really did a great job of keeping expenses down. We got lots of things donated, like the lemons were donated by Holland Rental. If you need to rent anything, check Holland Rental. My wife and her friends donated the flowers. She was told the other day that centerpiece for a wedding for our daughter son is getting married is $250. And she did all of that, flowers from Trader Joe's and some other clippings for under $300. So amazing job, my wife. Thank you, Jenny. So that being said, I think our net take is going to be somewhere around $33,000. Of that, we will donate some to Dick's Park Conservancy. We're still working with Dick's to identify a specific purpose for the funds. We're hoping that we'll have something that will really thrill the Rotary Club and make us excited about doing that, and possibly more. So stay tuned. We did have one item that I was totally surprised it didn't sell at auction, and that was the 20-person wine tasting at Total Wine. And so $30 per person value, it's a $600 value, and we had starting bid was at $300. We had to bid. I was hoping Tom Jordan was going to be here because Tom is an auctioneer. I work for a firm that auctions real estate, foreclosures, bankruptcies. I'm not an auctioneer, but I feel very comfortable doing this. So we're going to have a really quick auction of this wine tasting for 20 people at Total Wine. Now, just to give you an idea, I got Total Wine to give this to us. So every dollar we raise on this is going directly to the total. That being said, as a good auctioneer would do, I have an early offer. So one of the people that was at the gala said, "Oh, I paid $250 for that wine tasting." Tommy Kelleher is the initial offer, $250. And you know how this is done. I got $250. Do I hear $275? Do I hear $275? $275. Bid, 275. I got $275. Do I hear $300? 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. Do I have 300? Do I have 300? Do I have 300? This is for 20 people. Your wife or your spouse or yourself will love it. 300. Do I hear 300? Come on, we got 300 somewhere. 300, 300, 300, 300. 275 going once. $300. I got 300.
Wait, 280.
Do I have 300?
280.
280. I got 280. 280. Do I hear 290? 280, 290, 290. I got 290, 290, 290. 300, 300. Do I have 300? Can somebody text Tommy Kelleher and say we'll pay 300? I got 290, 280, 280, 280, 280. I got 290, right? 290. 290 going once. 290 going twice.
Hold on, I'm calling him.
Huh?
I'm calling Tommy.
You're calling Tommy? He's in a meeting.
Donated back for the.
Tommy, Tommy, you're on speaker, everyone can hear you.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Tommy, we're at 290. Brandy's at 290. Will you go 300?
Yeah.
300. I got 300 for Tommy. Good job. 310. Do I have 310? 310, 310 for Brandy.
310.
Tommy, 320? 320? 320, 320, 320. 320. 310. 310 going once, 310 going twice. Sold to Brandy for 310. Thank you, Brandy.
Oh, so,
And while you want to do our graphic job,
okay. That was all.
or
Thank you.
all right, so congratulations to our win. Congratulations. I feel like I was at something. We had an offer over the phone. All right.
Oh, this is the black and this here. Oh.
All right, we have a well organized draft.
Okay, that was fun. I have to get my engineer's license. Okay, so today's raffle is for the wonderful leftovers from the auction, from the game. So we have a cosmetic gift basket from Mary Kay, and we have a beautiful St. Patrick's Day green tie from Cammy's Clothes. And so I'm going to let you pull the tickets. She did not get the numbers where she pulled it. The winning number is 825375. 825375. And here it is. All right. No, we're right to the bit.
All right, thank you very much, John. Appreciate it. So that's our fundraising activities. And now we have to talk about what's next. So we'll have Richard in just a minute, but Tom is going to come up. Tom Holder, our commissioner of baseball, basketball, football, and everything else. And I'm always chewing, so apologies for that. But Tom is going to tell us about our next fundraiser, which is the NCAA tournament bracket champion.
Thank you, President Eric. Happy Monday, everybody. Glad to see you. You'd like to sit with me. See the rest of this. We're gonna do over like we did last year, our NCAA D1 men's basketball bracket. Checked on it yesterday and gotten a lot of repeat players from last year. The cost to play is $50. And last year, what we did is we had 25 people and whoever won it all. This time we're gonna mix it up, make it a little bit more interesting. We'll do a first and second place, like we did on the NFL Fantasy League. And NFL was $100. This one's 50. I want to get at least 25. I think I'm right at the edge when you get said you play. And being a beloved Wolfpack fan, we're not in it this year. So I'll be looking for the ACC teams to go all the way. If you see me, if I haven't already spoken to you, let me know and I'll get you on the list. I'll get the emails out to you shortly through ESPN. It's a lot of fun. It makes it interesting. Thank you.
Now we'll start over to our service update from Richard.
Good afternoon, folks. Richard David, your service chair. Our service project for March is this Saturday, Lions Park. We'll be the tennis courts, and from 9 to 11, we're going to do a stream cleanup. I've got the vests and the gloves, the buckets, so I'm asking for you to attend. This is a family-friendly event. And also, maybe you can use this as an opportunity to recruit future members to show Rotarians in action. Moving forward in April, we're going to support the Dementia Alliance with their walk. More information about that later. And then in May, we're actually going to partner with the Kiwanis Club in a Rise Against Hunger event. That'll be in May 26th, I believe. Details will come out later on for that. But please, if you can attend this Saturday, Lions Park, 9 to 11, beat the tennis courts, and we'll do a little stream cleanup and pray for good weather. And thank you for your support.
Wear your long sleeves.
Yes, and wear your long sleeves.
Thank you, Richard. A lot of service activity, the fall comes along, or the spring comes along rather. And, we mentioned, Dementia Alliance, and we're glad to have the Alzheimer's Association with us here. Dementia Alliance is very involved in this club, and we'd love to have the association part of the club as well, so glad you're here today. So with that, we would go to our, happy dollar, we can be trying to, yes. And the happiest man in the room, Kurt Warner, will, collect our happy dollar.
Very happy, very happy. All right. I got 5 in myself. $1 for each of the two twins over Carolina and the rugby season championship and the tournament championship. What you got, Kevin?
Well, last week I didn't want to say anything about Michigan, but there we go. Michigan won the Big Ten championship, so that's one. And the other one is I just want to brag about the Rotary project. I'm getting ready this Saturday. We're flying down to the Dominican Republic with lots of friends from area clubs to do our house building project. So more to come on that. I'll give you a report when I get back.
Okay. All right, you're up at happy dollar. Now, if you're a Carolina fan, you've got to be delighted. You should be, I give you, according to Bubba Cunningham's contract, I can give you 166,000 reasons why Carolina's in the tournament. That's the bonus he gets if Carolina's in the tournament. As chairman of the selection committee, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I am. I'm calling it. Tom.
Two things since the last meeting, I think we've had grandchild number 5 on Valentine's Day. And the other is the UCLA Bruins, who did not have to play their way into the tournament, and they're part of the Big Ten now, but go Bruins. Yep, they're top seeded. Yeah.
This is in some bicycle spoke. Anyone else got happy dollars? Come on, this is a good crowd for happy dollars. Not one Carolina. So that's all we got. Thanks. Go down.
Thanks, Colonel. Very good. Appreciate it. So birthdays and anniversaries coming up. A little explanation. You got enthusiastic last week. You listed this week's birthdays last week. So we're going to come up again this week. So actually, you've aged 2 years now because of that. But Roy Fuller, Sean Doyle, Eric Greenwood, Matt Barfield, Elsa Silverman, Mark Livingston, Jennifer Rodriguez, and Kurt Warner, who are both here today. Happy birthday. And no anniversaries this time. Upcoming meetings, we're going to have board meeting tonight at 5:30. Everyone's invited to attend, and if you're working on getting your blue badge, your red badge, a board meeting attendance is one of the steps in that process. You get in touch with Linda, she'll send you the Zoom link, and you're always welcome at board meetings. We have a very open policy on that. Next week, I'm very excited about Rob Christensen being here, Dean of North Carolina Politics, political reporting, I should say, noted author, writer, pretty famous guy around town, and Southern News and Southern Politics is the title of his talk. And he'll also be talking about his new book. I'm sure we'll have some that you can pick up and get autographed. And then we're going to have Marianne Wolf with the Public School Forum coming. And then we're going to also have our AI 2-parter coming up at that time. So with no further ado, I'll move right to our program. And I usually don't do this, so you have printed out due to technical difficulties. I'm going to be reading my phone, so I'll apologize in advance. So among other things, the Institute for Emerging Issues runs something called the Emerging Issues Forum. And this is a global level quality event. I remember when I was at IBM and Lou Gerstner was CEO of IBM, there was no way in the world I would get on his calendar to go see him. But I went to the Emerging Issues Forum, and Lou Gerstner was there, and I had a wonderful talk with him. And so that's the kind of people that are brought into that particular event. But we're going to hear all about the Institute. There's a difference between a center and an initiative and an institute these days. So this is the higher level kind of thing. So Sarah Hall's going to be our presenter today. She has a 24-year North Carolina public service, a public servant, and she is the director for the Emerging Issues Institute at North Carolina State University. Sarah provides insight and support for multi-sector programs, including emerging issue forums that I was talking about, and engages in key stakeholders on issues important to North Carolina's vibrancy and economic competitiveness. Prior to IEI, Sarah worked with NC Division of Public Health, NC Department of Public Instruction, and UNC Chapel Hill, working on adolescent health issues. Sarah received her Master's of Public Health from the University of Albany, New York, is an alum of Leadership North Carolina, and has recently recognized as a Triangle Business Journal Peak 25 person. She has been a Wake County Guardian ad litem volunteer for children in foster care for 2010. And I know that program, that's a fantastic program, making at-risk children make sure that everything is being done for them. And it's a real mission of love. It's hard work. So I'm thrilled to hear that that's part of the resume. So please join me in welcoming Sarah Hall.
All right, so St. Patrick's Day, and we're in a bar, so I've got trivia on my mind, and I've got a few prizes, so, anyways, well, thank you, everybody, and, I'm just so glad to be here to talk more about the Institute for Emerging Issues, around population growth and economic expansion. So let me start a little bit more about the Institute for Emerging Issues. We began as an event, the Emerging Issues Forum, which was first held in 1986 and has been held at least annually for nearly 40 years. In 2002, NC State created the Institute for Emerging Issues to help move forward the ideas that were coming out of it. We love to tell people that we were the first to coin NC State's motto, think and do. And if you get the chancellor in private quarters, he will actually do that openly. Our work is nonpartisan, and our mission is to bring North Carolinians together across regions, sectors, and perspectives for collaborative work on key emerging issues that are affecting our state's future economic competitiveness. And our vision is one where more people in more communities across the state can prosper because of this work. So what does all of this look like in action? In summary, we connect, we convene, and we can increasingly build capacity for collaborative action. We intentionally only take on issues with the potential for common ground and collaborative action. And for that reason, there is important work that we just simply will not take on. We use the Emerging Issues Forum as a platform to focus attention on critical questions that are facing leaders and to lift up promising solutions that they may want to consider to help us stay competitive. And very importantly, we don't create state policy, rather we influence the creation and adoption of policy programs and community change. You may be wondering what is an emerging issue and how do we select our annual topic? And that would be a great question. So we think of an emerging issue as one that has been recognized from experts across sectors and disciplines as having a significant impact on our sectors, on our future economic competitiveness, and one where the opportunities and solutions will require the entire state's attention. So all people, all sectors, and all points of view. Because when people work together with a shared will and common vision, we believe that progress is smarter, more comprehensive, and enduring. People come to the forum expecting to hear a perspective that is different from their own. Sometimes that might be one's rural lens to an urban mindset, or it could be what one believes is the role of government versus the private market. And so those are sort of the perspectives that you can find in the forum. We also believe that it can't be so specialized that it excludes some North Carolinians from the conversation. And last but not least, there must be some solutions or great ideas that exist that we can lift up to inspire others. And with over 14 million people expected to call North Carolina home by 2050, our next series of Emerging Issues forums will focus on an issue of critical importance to our economic well-being ensuring that we have a highly coordinated future forward infrastructure plan to meet this demand. Over the next 3 years, we will focus on 3 interrelated issues: energy, water, and housing, while also holding in key interrelated, infrastructure challenges related to transportation and broadband as well. So here's a question for you, and again, I did bring prizes, so we'll go ahead and if you get the answers right, you'll get your prize at the end. According to the North Carolina Office of State Budget Management, what percent growth is Wake County expected to see from 2025 to 2050? Who wants to take a guess? What percent is Wake County expected to grow from now to 2050? Yes.
35%.
Okay, 35%. Anybody else? 100%.
125.
125. Huh? 150? Any final guesses? Okay. The correct answer is 50%. So now these are projections, but 50% growth. 35%, you came closest to your friends. And we're expected to exceed 2 million by 2060. Those are some of the latest projections in Wake County alone. Now, census data just came out recently, and how much do you think Raleigh grew from 2020 to 2024? In the last 4-year period, what percent do you think Raleigh alone grew in the last 4 years? 30%. 30%? Close, not quite. We're talking about Raleigh in the last 4 years. What percent Raleigh grew in the last 4-year period from 2020 to 2024? 20%, not quite.
15.
15. So 10.2%.
Oh, that's it.
So in 4 years, Raleigh grew over 10%. And just to put that into context, US as a whole grew 2.6%. Okay. So I'm going to show you this picture. That look familiar?
Yeah.
So we need to solve today at the same time that we're planning for tomorrow. In a way that treats infrastructure not as these separate silos and separate funding streams, but as interconnected structures that balance the needs of diverse stakeholders. So looking at residents, business needs, and also the needs of public health. And I swear that's actually what my drive looks just this weekend. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to very briefly go through some of the topics that we're going to go over, and then if we've got folks that maybe have expertise to contribute to the conversation, I'm welcome some discussion. So the first of the 3 forums I'm going to be talking about is energy. And in 2021, a bipartisan bill was passed, House Bill 951, that required the state to take all reasonable steps to achieve a 70% reduction in emissions of carbon dioxide from electric public utilities from our 2005 levels by the year 2030, and to achieve carbon neutrality by the year 2050. This is a state law that was passed. It requires the Carolina Utilities Commission to create a carbon plan to meet these goals, and it supports the transition to cleaner energy by requiring the retirement of subcritical coal plants. There was a bill that was actually filed last week to remove this 2030 target due to demand models and costs, so we'll see what happens there. But basically what this means is that we're trying to move towards more clean energy in a way more here in North Carolina. And so that's one big thing that's happening here in North Carolina. So what's driving energy demand in North Carolina? Well, in addition to population growth, we have an influx of energy-intensive businesses that not only require 24/7 energy, but lots more of it. So just to give you a sense, an average-sized semiconductor fabrication plant will use as much power as it requires to power 50,000 homes. And that's just for your average size. Artificial intelligence is also very energy intensive. It is being used now by nearly every single sector. The transition to electric vehicles is also driving demand, and many of them are the single largest drivers here in the state. Also impacting our energy resilience are things like extreme weather. Between 2000 and 2023, or nearly 60% of outages here in the state were caused by extreme weather. So these are some of the things that we're looking at, and certainly has a big impact on our sectors that require this 24/7 energy. Some of the things that we're looking at as part of our forum, which, speaking of extreme weather, I guess not so extreme for February, you might expect snow, but our forum was supposed to be held February 19th because of the snow day in Raleigh. It's now May 28th. I hope you can all join us. But we did have to postpone the forum. But some of the things that we're going to be looking at as well are bottlenecks in our energy infrastructure and how to fix that. So things like government and administrative program alignment and efficiencies, our future workforce, and the role of community voice in being either productive or disruptive in organizing infrastructure projects, sustainability, and more. So I did sort of want to look and kind of trivia question around Raleigh. So in the past decade, total solar capacity in Raleigh has increased by 1%. We all think. In the city of Raleigh. 10%. Very low, significantly higher. Yeah.
Well, now I said
Significantly higher. Higher.
wow.
500%, yes. Yeah, in the last decade, Raleigh has increased their total solar capacity by 500%, enough to power 5,000 detached homes. And there's also over 1,400 geothermal wells. It's an interesting fun fact. You get a prize. And here's another one. Who is the city of Raleigh's largest power user? Huh? Walmart? No.
Big guy.
Close, specifically. It's utility.
University.
No. It's utility. Raleigh Water. Yeah. Takes us to our next transition. So our 2026 forum will focus on water. And some of the early issues that we're exploring are the physical infrastructure. Conservative estimates suggest that across the state, more than 15 billion in investments will be needed to our water infrastructure over the next 2 decades. And that's just because of the aging or the age of our investment. Of course, there's an issue of water supply, at times having too much, and other times not enough. And so going back to some of the extreme weather that we're talking about. We have water quality problems, where there are chemicals in our water that are of concern in some areas of our state, and also a water resource shortage. So those are some of the early issues that we're focusing on with water. So pleased to see that the Rotary is doing things like stream cleanup. Think about now, how can we possibly partner on that? For those of you who don't know, Raleigh has 2 city-owned treatment plants. Who knows which 2 bodies of water it was from?
All like.
Falls Lake, y'all know the other one? Not Jordan Lake. I actually didn't know that we have this lake. So Falls is one. Starts with a B.
Like Benson.
Lake Benson. That's right. All right, Lake Benson, that's right. And Raleigh also owns 3 water treatment plants. So with almost 2,600 miles of length. So what do you need before you can build a house? Water and sewer, that's right. And so I know like in Chatham County, with the big expansion of Chatham Park, that's one of the big issues that they're facing as well. And then finally, the third one that we're focusing on is housing. We're at the very early stages of planning that forum. As you can imagine, this is a very big, hairy issue that a lot of people are working on. The NC Chamber, the NC Realtors Association, and others. It's just not an urban issue. In fact, the largest increase that we're going to be seeing over the next 25 years are actually our non-urban neighbors. So here's my final trivia question for you, and that is, what was the median list price of available homes in Wake County in 2024, according to the new NC Chamber Foundation report?
600,000.
Okay, close, it's a little high. Very close, a little higher. Higher,
520.
very close. 525. Okay, so here's some data from that report. So the NC Chamber Foundation partnered with I think that's listed on there, if not, that's a survey there. And this is what they found. So yeah, so for 2024, this was the median list price of available homes. And the for sale availability rate was 25%. Now I know we've got some real estate folks in the room, so you probably understand what this data means far more than I do. But a few more data points. We also ranked number 2 for our rental housing gap at over 57,000 units. Now this is projected for the next 5 years. But we also know from other sources that 47% of our renters in Wake County that are in units are considered cost burdened. And according to the city of Raleigh's website, over 9,100 households are on the Raleigh Housing Choice Voucher Program waitlist, and 6,300 are on the public housing waitlist. And Wake County also ranks number 1 for sale housing gap at over 53,000 units. And that 17% of our homeowners are having already have difficulty affording their homes. What I also found very interesting, now Wake County is a very large county, we're also number 1 by far for residential units. Issued at over close to 75,000 residential permits. So if this is an area of interest for you, I would recommend pulling this report. It's got county level data. It's very interesting. So lots happening here in the housing market as well. So in closing, there's a lot we need to consider today. We want to ensure that we're prepared for the future, particularly that if we're going to be welcoming 50% more Raleigheites to our area. So if you or your company are interested in sort of exploring these issues alongside the Institute for Emerging Issues, please do reach out. I brought my business cards. If you're interested in sponsoring this work, it's completely 100%. The work is completely sponsored, supported. And just, I appreciate y'all being here. I'm curious to know your thoughts on these topics and what you all are doing in the remaining time. I'm interested in what you all are doing in the space.
That prior slide, is that for the state of North Carolina? You said number one in the state?
No, this is Wake County.
It says we're number 1 for residential.
Wake County.
But number 1.
Wake County is number 1 by far in residential permits for construction permits.
For where? North Carolina, state of North Carolina?
How are we ranked number 1 in North Carolina or ranked number 1 in?
Oh, I'm sorry, within North Carolina.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Yes. Compared to other counties in North Carolina. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how to interpret those ranks as far as like housing gaps. Your rank number 1, is that good or bad?
Bad.
Can you repeat the question?
Sorry, yeah, so the question is, if you rank number 1, is that good or is that bad? And it's bad. Number 1 means you've got the largest account. Yeah. Yes.
So is there, I don't know if you know, it's this question, is there something that maybe the county is doing or Raleigh is doing to bring more affordable housing? I mean, apartments are fine if you're renting, but if you want to own, like, you have to have a lot of income to own a house in Wake County. So what's the answer?
Yeah, so I will say this is an area that our organization is just starting to get into, but my understanding is there are a lot of folks at the county level and at the city level that are working in the space. We are leveraging sort of so part of our issue at the Institute for Emerging Issues is looking at who is already working in this space and what lane or what niche do we want to focus on that we can have the greatest impact. And so that's the space that we're working on right now, but certainly in Wake County, affordability is one of the top area issues, not just at the county level, but also at the regional level. So our council of government, I don't know if you all are familiar with our local council of government, Central Pines Council of Government, is looking at this issue from a regional level as well. I think there's also this affordability issue, so financial resilience. So how do we prepare homeowners financially to be resilient financially to be able to save those funds to be able to afford that level.
It seems to me there's an inherent tension. Housing is driven by private contractors, private history and loaners who can lend the money to do it. But they're not going to do it to build low income housing, or they want to build houses above median. So then it continues to drive the median.
It's a very complicated issue. And so I think that's why it's one of those, that requires the whole state's attention, every sector, every community, every voice really needs to be involved in this. And I do think this is one of those issues where I talked about early, community voice really can be a challenge in getting some of these infrastructure projects off the ground. And one of the things that we've been hearing is how do we change the narrative from NIMBY to YIMBY, which is the yes in my backyard. And I think that's going to be very much a cultural mindset shift for us to get the housing that we need. And that's part of the narrative, it's part of the discussion is, are we willing as a society to do that? Yes.
We actually do more here. More people. We're actually couples.
What is the Institute for Emergence objective? Are you asking what we do, like our institute?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're a public policy think tank. So unlike other think tanks where you just sort of do research and come up with your own opinions, we convene folks. And so, so we're sort of policy generalists. We go from issue to issue. So when I say, well, I don't really have all of the answers right now, we're just getting into the issue space, it's because we bring folks together that have expertise from across different sectors, regions, and perspectives to talk about an issue. We come up with recommendations for folks to explore based on that. Yeah. Yes.
Right here, New York Times article a couple of weeks ago, how the meetings that are just narrative, homelessness is associated with addiction and mental illness. There's truly knowledge. You think everyone would add to that narrative now? It's like, oh, this is the evidence is right here.
I think folks held that there, and I don't know the answer to that question, but I will tell you, I think Hurricane Helene and some of the weather-related events that have happened in our state has shifted that narrative to what homelessness looks like. I don't know. Our job is to bring people together to say, what narrative do you have about homelessness?
Are you guys used to doing Wake County? I mean, surely you're statewide, I assume.
Yeah, no, this was tailored for y'all.
Okay. As I said, I assume we have the same issues statewide, not just in Wake County, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we only take on issues that have a statewide focus. What's really interesting about all of these is we need energy, not just in the areas of the state that are growing the fastest. Urban issues, rural issues. Actually, if you look at the projected population projection data, while Wake County is growing, the numbers are the greatest. Obviously, it's a large county. If you look at the areas of the state that are growing the fastest percentage-wise, it's your rural areas. It's like Brunswick County, right? It's some of those areas. And so all across the state. Some counties are declining, like 25 counties, but 74 counties. Actually, if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, and we're highly encourage you to do that. That's where I put lots of interesting tidbits, obviously on. Really like it. Huh? Emergingissues.org. Yeah. And I've got my business card here too, so, yes.
Some of the policies, state policies that came out of the work that
Well, gosh, well, like I said, so we have been a forum for the last 40 years and an organization since 2002. And our work has varied from state policy like legislative to more little p policy, programmatic change. So workforce programs, for example, that have come out of like the community college system, programs that have been out of like State Department of Administration, human resource policies, those types of things. Earlier on, we would say that like the Biotech Center, for example, came out of our work, would be an example. I would say more recently, we've done things around workforce development, leadership, helping with the teacher pay steps coming out of SNC, for example, is probably one of the most recent. We're probably on a 10-year gap of impact. So our work in 2014 is just coming to fruition now, if that kind of gives you a good sense. Yeah. It's just the nature of the work that we do.
That's terrific, and what a great asset we have here right in our area, and 40-year history, we have lots of impact to the country, to the world. That I'm interested in this energy one that's just coming up, the first of the 3-part series. One of my clients is a global engineering company, a multi-million-dollar company, and I was talking to some of their leaders the other day. In their power plant division, the division that builds power plants, they are literally sold out for the next 5 to 10 years, and it's all dedicated to making power for data centers and AI centers. So that's really growing. That's a really big topic. So that's incredible. We're going to say the 4-way test in just a minute, but I did get some news just a moment ago that a longtime member of this club, former president of this club, Lawrence Davis, passed away. So close friend to Bill Lawrence and a member of ours. A true gentleman, always. He defined crossing the aisle. He was the chairman of the North Carolina Democratic Party and ran the North Carolina legislature as Republican. So a very balanced life he led and a wonderful gentleman. And so we'll extend, I will have to pass it on. So with that, let's all rise. Of the things we think to say and do is the truth. It's a very long concern. A little bit of good